Let's discuss. Hey everyone, it's Rachel back again with another video, and today I will be checking out a new song from What Lies Below. This is taken off of their EP Darker Colors, which I have heard 3 tracks off of: Bound, Lunar Haze, and Misguided Light. Today I'll be checking out Cloud Chamber. I have loved what I've heard off the EP, so I wanted to make sure to get at least one video on for one of the songs. So here we are doing that. I feel like What Lies Below is gaining more well-deserved traction with this EP, so hopefully that continues. They are a band that has a great discography. I've covered them a little bit on the channel, and I am familiar with their discography leading up to this release. So all that being said, I will link all of their social media, promotional links, if there's any merch for the EP or physical copies you can get for it. As always, I will link that stuff in the description of this video, along with the video or visualizer I'll be using in the reaction portion of this. I'm going to stop talking, and we are going to get straight into it. I'm digging that riff. Ooh, that riff is fun. You have a long way home, but don't forget these days at the bottom of the barrel. Don't forget, where did I go wrong? Am I not strong enough to be on my own? It comes into this chorus at a much lower register than I was expecting vocally that first time. Okay. Woo! What Lies Below, Cloud Chamber. Let's discuss. So I'm not disappointed with this at all, and also not surprised. The tracks, as I mentioned, that I heard off of this EP were so good. I'm disappointed I wasn't able to get the full EP covered on the channel, but with the way things have been lately, it's just been impossible. So I am glad to get this track on the channel right away from that intro riff. I was sold on it, but you also hear the synths playing into that part. You hear as it opens up after that big riff in the beginning. You hear the stuff that makes it a bit more atmospheric, that kind of taps into the sound you get with the chorus, the singing on this track. I had mentioned that when the chorus came in for the first time, vocally it's at a lower register than I had expected, especially with this band. But then when you get towards the end of the song, you do get that, like, the more soaring expected sound. So I really like the play there and how it played out, really kind of tapping into something that sounded a little different than what I was expecting for the style of singing they've got in their discography, but then kind of bringing it back around with that ending there, or towards the end of the track. It does have like a bit of an outro and stuff that comes after what I'm referencing here, but some huge moments from the guitars. I mentioned this in another video I just filmed, but I don't know what order everything I filmed yesterday and today will get posted in. I've mentioned this in every video. I took an unplanned 2-week break where I wasn't here in my filming area, so that kind of put me behind with a lot of stuff. But coming back and starting out with all the songs I've started out with, I have seen some huge riffs. This plays into that 100%, not just that intro riff. The guitar work throughout the track is a big attraction for me. It's definitely one of the key players in how much I enjoy this song. The vocal work is phenomenal, not just what I mentioned, but when you get to the verses that have screaming, the sections of the song that have screaming in it, especially one, I'll need to go back and find a timestamp for it after this, but there's one specific section where the screams and kind of the delivery, everything about it reminds me a bit of Sera Safe, Sera, which is a band who is now broken up, but I haven't been able to find anything that really scratches that itch, and What Lies Below typically hasn't done that a ton. I love their discography. I've already mentioned that. It's a band that I found through the channel and loved them immediately. They were putting out an EP at that time too. It's been a couple of years now, but even discovering them, getting into them, that was a time where I was listening to a ton of stuff that Sera Safe has put out. They really didn't end up putting a full release out ever, but the singles that they did put out were fantastic, and getting a little bit of stuff that reminds me of that band in this is definitely a big plus for me. I love them, and like I said, I really haven't been able to find anything that sort of scratches that itch for me. I do need to get a timestamp for the part I'm talking about, so I'm gonna do that. The part I'm talking about is right around 144. That is the style I'm talking about. It really drove that part of the song for me as well. Sometimes when you get to some of the verses that kind of connect the song together, not the bridge necessarily, though sometimes that plays into what I'm talking about too. You'll get to sections that don't seem to have as much energy, passion, or detail. It doesn't even have to be an energetic portion of the song either. Sometimes it makes complete sense to have a section of the track maybe more leaning towards talking specifically about the bridge, which doesn't necessarily align with what I'm talking about, but the sound, I think, that I disconnect with some tracks with in that area of the song, this did not have that issue at all. I think they did a really nice balance of, you know, the stuff that's singing, that I don't want to say really the synth, because I feel like that played a lot more into, it had some big parts where it helps build, or it helps move something along more so than adds, like, you know, adds to the soundscape or anything like that. It's much different, but that having the energy that it did, it seems like they had a great balance of like the lighter moments of the song and the stuff that's heavier, and not doing, I think at this point the outro breakdown is way too expected, so not having the outro breakdown there and feeling the build in the other parts of the song without it needing to kind of put that outro breakdown period of the sentence thing. I think that works well for me. There are a ton of outro breakdowns that I really enjoy, so don't take that at all as me saying, oh, I hate an outro breakdown or anything. That's not the case, but I do think that sort of, not even necessarily full structure of a song, but like that, you know, the chorus to outro breakdown, that specifically, that sequence of events is getting a little tired for me. I think it has to be, you know, whether it be a surprise where you're sure it's gonna outro and then it has that breakdown, or something. It needs to have a ton of intention behind it at this point, because I do feel like that end of the song structure is used a lot now, and this taking a different form there was a win for me. I don't think every track needs the outro breakdown as much as I have enjoyed some of the ones we've gotten. So it may seem like a small detail, but it is something that I'm seeing all the time now, and sometimes it just doesn't feel super thoughtful, or it just felt like, oh, and then, like, you know, we need to end the song. Do you want to just throw in an outro breakdown? Well, you know, stuff like that is becoming a little bit more common. This doesn't follow that mold at all, so I'm happy with that. The vocal performance on, you know, the timestamp I gave on the singing, having that sort of variation towards the end of the style of singing, and you know, the way that's being presented, all of that are big checks for me on the box list. The boxes, I don't know, the imaginary boxes I have in my head for new tracks that I'm checking out. I need to read through the lyrics and listen front to back to this EP now, but tracks like Bound did a lot for me. I have high expectations for it. I am glad to get probably one of my favorite tracks off of this onto the channel. This will be a high contender for me, but it's going to be tough with some of the, you know, the 3 tracks I heard were fantastic. So it'll be tough to work that out. I can get moving on that now that I've done this, though. I don't think there's much I would have wanted to see differently. Talking about the chorus being being different than what I had expected, and then coming back around in the song and getting more of what I had expected. You know, having the screams hit me in a different way than a lot of What Lies Below has. You know, having it remind me of something they really haven't. All of that makes it a track that I really don't have anything I would want to see differently. I think they've done a phenomenal job, you know, polishing their sound, getting more comfortable, and the more they release music, the more traction I see them getting, which you love to see. So let me know what track off the EP was your favorite in the comments, what you thought of this song. As I mentioned before, I will link the visualizer I used in the reaction portion of this. I will link all of the band's social media pages. If there's any merch or any sort of physical copies of the EP, I will put all of that in the description of this video. You can also find my link tree there, which will have any link you need related to my channel, including my Patreon, Twitch channel, the Discord server, invite link. All of that's in there. Patreon, we are doing our end of the year stuff. I've got polls going. We'll be getting back into doing a lot more of those, probably most days of the week as we close out, moving into November and December, those last 2 months of the year. Staying on top of the releases that get out there during October, November, December, which this year has been and looks to be a very heavy end of the year, so we'll be adding stuff into the list last minute for sure by the looks of it. If you want to be involved in all of that, I make playlists for Tier 3. I update them monthly with 20 to 25 songs per month based off of the for fans of that the person gives me. Stuff like that, it's all listed out in the tiers. Twitch, I'm going to be getting that going again. I've mentioned in every single video I've filmed in the last 28-ish hours. I just sat down for the first time yesterday to film a bunch of videos after an unplanned 2-week break. This is my second day of filming. I've covered a ton of stuff. There is a plethora of new music, but if you want to see when I get my I just got so off topic. If you want to be notified when I get my Twitch channel back up and running after this long-ass break that I've unplanned taken, I will be doing my weekly live streams where we do requests, as well as some additional music-related streams as we close out the end of the year. A lot of those will also be relative to that. So if you want to be notified when I go live, see what type of stuff I'm doing on Twitch, feel free to follow that Twitch channel in the link tree. And then lastly, Discord server invite link. There are a bunch of music lovers in the server. Like I mentioned, it's where the community is based for my YouTube channel. It's the homies. We're hanging out. We've got music related conversation unrelated to music. If you want to come check it out, that link will be there. As always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it.